hell from whence you came. Back on the shelf with all these other crappy games. You know, Final Fantasy is a dying breed now. Seems like there's no hope for Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy X was probably the last good Final Fantasy game, at least in my opinion. But it seems like it's a dark day for Final Fantasy lovers. Great, now I gotta find another game to review. Oh, damn it. Oh no. Oh no. That's right. It made another one. Final Fantasy 13-2. Well, let's pop it in. That's not good. It's good to see you again. Why the hell are you here? Oh, I'm just here to see you review this game. Minute, hold on. How do you benefit from me reviewing this game? You don't think you tripped over it by accident, did you? Fine, then I just won't review it then. You really have no choice. I hold all the cards, and you're not leaving until you do. Fine, I'll review the game. Good. Then we're done here. I'll see you after. Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode of the Zehfactor. I'm your host, Dominic Z. Now last time I reviewed Final Fantasy 13. They made another game. Why did they make another one since everything was fine with the ending of Final Fantasy 13? They saved Cocoon. That was pretty much straightforward. They had no reason to make another game. But I guess Square Enix wanted to elaborate more on the story or add more to it. But this is what we got. Final Fantasy 13-2. Now there are two things that made me buy this game. One is the fact that I play every single Final Fantasy, and two, it had the concept of time travel. Now I have loved time travel ever since I saw Back to the Future when I was a young child, and I've loved time travel ever since.
Next Saturday night, we're sending you back to the future!
Time travel is a big thing, and everyone loves the concept of time travel, so no, why not put it into a Final Fantasy game? Let's find out and see if Final Fantasy 13-2 is better than its previous counterpart. Roll the clip.
That time was lost, yet time continued onward. Divine Etro, go peacefully to your rest. I will stand guard over your legacy. This endless realm is awash with sadness. Life and death lose all meaning under the rolling waves of chaos. Valhalla. The currents of time do not touch its shores.
So, we are introduced back to Lightning. Lightning's back, but only for a short while. Now, for those of you who like Lightning's character, like I did, I thought she was actually the only one of the good characters in Final Fantasy 13. You only get to play her for about 10 minutes. At least say that's all you get, is 10 minutes. And you're knowing that she's actually on the cover of the game. Now, I've known that you can't judge a book by its cover, but why is that the same concept with games? It's always been the hero, the main character, is always on the cover. With Final Fantasy X, it was Tidus. In Final Fantasy VII, it was Cloud. So why, in Final Fantasy 13-2, do they put Lightning on the cover when it should be Sarah and Noel? And that's right, guys, you are playing as Sarah. Not Lightning, but her younger sister Sarah. Now, we don't know much about Sarah, except for being Snow's girlfriend, and for those of you who know Snow, he's that one character that made a lot of bad decisions in Final Fantasy 13.
I am a pulseless sea! I'm here to kill you all!
So, Lightning's back, but she's only used for tutorial fodder. Basically, everything that you learned in Final Fantasy 13 is the same exact gameplay in Final Fantasy 13 2. There's no real change except for a little bit more availability, which I'm glad they fixed, because in the last game, you were kind of restricted on what parts you could level up. Lightning ensues in a battle with Caius Ballad, our new rival, our new villain. Now, we have no idea what the motives are of Caius Ballad, except for the fact that he has some attachment to this young child, and that they're both in this place called Valhalla, where there is no time. Time does not exist, it does not move, and Lightning is the champion of the goddess of time, called Etra. So Lightning fights Caius in this 10-minute battle with a whole bunch of quick time events. Now, when you're adding quick time events to a game, why add quick time events into a Final Fantasy game? It makes no sense. I can see it with fighting games, I can see it with, other games like Heavy Rain that had quick time events because it was a cinematic. Like, Final Fantasy has always been a straightforward cutscene. I don't want to have to do the work. There shouldn't have been a quick time event in a Final Fantasy game. I thought it was just really annoying. But I guess if you like quick time events, then you're golden. You're good. So, moving on. The battle ensues, but we're met with a new character called Noel Kreis. Now, Noel is also a kind of time traveler, and he knows Caius for some reason. We don't know why he knows Caius. We have no idea what the relationship is between them. But otherwise, that's all we know. So Lightning sends Noel to find Sarah. Leave Lightning to find Caius by herself, but Noel goes through this time gate to get to Sarah's time. Now, meanwhile, back in New Bodom, because the old Bodom was, I guess, destroyed somehow. I mean, I don't know why old Bodom was destroyed if Cocoon was saved, but I guess they're living on Pulse now. Sarah wakes up, but not without getting a new change of clothes. Now, I have no idea why the fact of some weird time shift causes you to change your clothes, or for some apparent reason, but I never really got the fact that her clothes changed because of time moving, I guess, to say. I just thought that was really weird. Just wanted to point that out. Anyway, Sarah wakes up, but there's a battle going on, and basically these monsters are attacking. We don't know why. Sarah goes out there because I guess she just goes out there. We know that Sarah can't fight at all, so I don't know why she goes out there. She's looking at her friends battling, and then a monster attacks her. But then she gets saved by Noel. One thing about Noel is that I believe he is a great character. A character that they should have had in Final Fantasy 13. Noel is a true hero, not unlike Snow, who believes he's a true hero. Noel is a true hero. He's got a backstory. He has that, drive to be better. A drive of, he has some sort of purpose, which is what makes him a great character. And I believed him to be the actual main character of Final Fantasy 13 too.
One more thing. Don't ever lay down and wait to die!
Now, Noel gets introduced to Sarah after saving Sarah. Gives her this bow, gave to her by Lightning, so Lightning gives her a bow to use. It's kind of cool that it can change to a bow and a weapon at the same time. And then it changes into a Moogle. I don't know why it changes into a Moogle. I guess they needed a comic relief sort of thing in there, but I guess that's fine. If you like Moogles, I think Moogles are kind of cool. I see them in every single Final Fantasy game. Moogles are everywhere. There's little cute little Moogles with the balls on their head. That's cool. Okay, so we got a bow that turns into a Moogle. I guess you could say it's a Moogle that turns into a bow. So, Noel tells Sarah that Lightning's alive. Great! Lightning is alive. No one else believes Sarah or believes Noel, so they find proof. Noel is telling the truth about the time gates, thus ensuing our story. This is a story that we are playing in. we have to find lightning. But we're going to go through a whole bunch of crap that will stop us from finding her. Now the fact is, you can't go back to Valhalla for some apparent reason. I guess the time gate doesn't have you go back. The whole point of the game was to take Sarah, bring her back to lightning. The only fact is, the time gate didn't bring them there, it brought them to a new time, and it keeps on bringing you to new times, and they're trying to find the right gate or the right artifact to use on the time gate to go to the different time to find Valhalla. Now along the way, Caius tries to stop them. We find out a whole bunch of stuff about Caius and Noel and about their past. But there are some good parts about this game. The fact that your choices can actually matter in different endings. There are several different endings to this game, though it doesn't really affect it because after that ending plays out, you were sent back to the point where you made that choice. So there's really no true game over until the actual ending of the game. Now I thought that was pretty cool. They brought in alternative endings, showing you what life would have been like if Sarah and Noel made that choice. And another thing about choice in this game, conversations play out with like a kind of like a Mass Effect sort of deal. I wouldn't call it Mass Effect sort of deal. You get to choose what you say, basically. You get 4 different options to choose what you would reply to someone. But Noel learns a lot about Sarah and about her life until the fact of this.
I got a question for you. Who's this snow person? A boyfriend?
No!
He's just this super cool guy, you know? He doesn't care about the way he looks, but that just makes him so much cooler.
Well, that's great, I guess. Maybe we should...
And he's not just kind, he's reliable too. He always means what he says, and you can totally trust his word. I mean, he's my hero. Oh, and I know you're thinking no one's perfect. I know he has his flaws, and sometimes he makes me so mad, but I love that about him too. No other guy can compare to my hero.
I get it. Can we just get back to...
He has this amazing body, and his face is so handsome. He's tall and broad, and makes me feel so safe. Oh, and even though he's big and tough, he can be so adorable. That's my Snow. You done asking?
I'm done. Yeah, thanks for all the detail.
So Sarah's a seer, she can see into the future. Every time she sees into the future, it costs her some of her life. Every time she looks into the future, her life is basically being drained. So eventually, at some point, the last time that she sees the future, she will die. Which brings us to what Caius' motives are in the game. Caius, as we saw in the beginning of the game, was holding this girl. Her name is Yule, and she's also a Seeress. But she's not the only Yule that was there. There are many Yules. Apparently, Yule keeps on getting reborn. But Caius has always been trying to find a way to keep Yule from dying. So the only way he's thinking about it is to kill the goddess. And that's basically what we're doing, is trying to stop Caius from killing the goddess and trying to find lightning and helping her out. So let's get into the gameplay. Now, as I said before, the gameplay is the exact same thing as Final Fantasy 13. The Crystallum system, where you can choose the different roles that you get, and you can level them up. Now, in the last game, it was restricted halfway through in the game. This game, it's open up at the beginning, and you could really work on what you actually wanted to work on. And, if you wanted Sarah to be a medic or use magic, then you could. If you wanted her to be a fighter, then you could. It was all available, which I'm really glad they fixed that. Now, another thing that in Final Fantasy 13 was a problem was the fact that it was a very linear story. There was no really openness to it. You couldn't go anywhere. There was only one open place you could go to, and that was when you were on Pulse and do a whole bunch of side missions. In this game, they have opened the world greatly due to the concept of time travel. You can go to all these different times, go back and forth between the times that you were once at or the times that you were going to. You can do a whole bunch of different side quests within those times. And sometimes the quests go in between, back and forth between the times. Which means if you're doing a side quest there, it could actually bring you into another time and then bring you back to that certain point of time. Time is a big fact in this, and I love how they made time in this game really good. The story in this game is better because of it. Now, they've talks about paradoxes, and they portray the fact of paradoxes, how they change, how your choices can change the world completely, can change time completely. They show the importance of choice, because in the last game, it was pretty much straightforward. The story in the last game was kind of dull. In this game, it's a much faster paced game, and you get to enjoy it. You get to enjoy the different times, you get to see other endings. You get to see what happens if what you do when you make those choices. Now here's something that they have brought back to Final Fantasy. It was not in Final Fantasy 13, but they brought it in Final Fantasy 2. They have brought back mini-games. Do you guys remember when we used to have mini-games in like Final Fantasy 10? I think that was the last time we had mini-games. Back then, it was like in Final Fantasy 10 it was Blitzball. 7 we had Chocobo races, and guys, they have brought back Chocobo racing. That's right, we can race Chocobos again. So let's race some Chocobos!
Gas him up with the greens and let him go. Stand back, stand clear as he puts on the show. So cute yet fierce and safe from hell. I can't tell yet, I don't even wanna know. So you wanna be a trailblazer, kick the dirt like a hell raiser. Take the reins but don't react slow. It's time to feel the force of the Chocobo. So you think you can ride this Chocobo? Got Chocobo, watch him and I put him on the Chocobo. Settle up if you think you can ride in this rodeo. Oh, you know, I don't know till the doors are wrong.
That's right, guys. Chocobo racing is back. They brought back Chocobo racing. I've always loved Chocobo racing. The fact that we can race giant chickens and bet on which chickens are gonna freaking beat other chickens. Which is Chocobos. Love Chocobos. They're in every single game. They never change at all. They're a little bit designed in every single game, but Chocobos have always been kind of a main thing for Final Fantasy games. So they brought back other mini games. They brought back like a casino, which is I guess it's a different time. I guess you could call it a casino time. Basically, Saz, you get to see Saz back, and of course, Snow comes back too.
Snow, is that really you? I can't believe it.
Sarah, am I dreaming again? Dream or not, you gotta get out of here.
Hey, Snow.
I'll give you a hand. No, I'll hold it off. You get out of here.
Hey, kidding? Sarah watching? I don't think so.
Fine, we'll do it together. Get close, I'll cover you. Don't be a fool. Trust me.
Now, let me just talk about Snow for a second. In the first game, we know that he made horrible choices. We know that. We know that he portrayed himself as a hero, but he wasn't much as hero because of the choices he made. One, in the last game, because of him, Hope's mother died. Also, he made a decision to shoot a gun up in the air in a crowd of full people.
I am a Pulse Lassie! I'm here to kill you all!
In Final Fantasy 13 too, the whole reason why Snow was not there is because he left. He actually believed Sarah that Lightning was still alive. So he went and left Sarah alone for years to find Lightning. You think he would have came back after the first year. The fact that actually he became a Lassie again, I guess he didn't want to go back. But I guess he cannot travel through time the same way as Noel and Sarah can, but I don't even know how he time traveled in the first place. I guess we could just call it Snow logic. But he's continued to be Snow. The fact that, again, instead of him helping you, just makes things worse.
Let's go. Yeah, hit it hard while it's down and I mean, we get out of here. Look, that way.
Come on, Snow. Let's
Whoa,
go.
Hey, Sarah. Listen, hotheads who can't back down don't last long on this planet.
Maybe. But sometimes you gotta make a stand.
You're not listening to me. Humans aren't strong. They die easy.
Well, some of us are tougher than others.
Now, Final Fantasy 13-2 has a great concept of time travel. As an open world, a more open world than in the last game. The gameplay is even better because of a more open way of playing. You can actually level up the way you want to. Even though I don't like the battling system as much as I did in previous games, but it's still a good system nonetheless. Now, there are some problems with this game. One is the fact that their goal is pretty much topsy-turvy through the whole entire story. Now, I said the story is good, but it doesn't make any sense. Now, I know in time travel, stuff doesn't make sense. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the story. The fact that Cocoon is going to fall. But the beginning was to find Lightning, which they never even do. They never find her. But the ending is intense and is very emotional, which I'll have to give the game this. Now, another fact about this game that I didn't quite like. Paying for story. Now, when this game first came out, you had the story, you had the game, you bought the game. Then, they added a DLC, which was basically our ending to our game. They took the ending, the basic essential part of the game, the essential ending, what made everything make sense at the end, and made it a DLC for $10. I hate paying for more story. That is not a thing that should happen. And above all, I thought Square Enix was better than that. I don't think anyone should pay for story. Now, that was fine with BioShock because it was a totally different kind of a game sort of thing, and I could take it. But not this. Not Final Fantasy, where story is crucial. You do not have people pay for story. I could get the Colosseum. That was a DLC where you could battle things. You could battle snow. You could battle lightning. It was like a cool little kind of mini game sort of thing. You could battle people. That is worth the DLC price, but not story. You never do story. Now, another thing about this game that I didn't like was the fact that your third-party person was one of the monsters that you fight. Basically, if you fight enough monsters, you'll eventually get that monster into your party. Now, each monster has a certain role already established to it, which means you have to get several different monsters to get the paradigm system that you want. Now, in the beginning, it's just Noel and Sarah. The fact that now in every single Final Fantasy game, the numbers in the party are getting shorter. They're getting smaller. The parties get smaller with each passing Final Fantasy game. In Final Fantasy 13-2, we only have 2 characters. That's it. There's no support characters. Even when Snow comes in, he doesn't help out. He's not your third party. It would have been nice to have maybe a third party character come in from each different timeline. Maybe had Hope come in there with his boomerang and frickin' throw a couple. Or have, well, Fang and Vanilla are gone, so they can't really do anything. But have someone in that timeline help them. I can't believe they took out the concept of that. Now we only have 2 people, and you have basically what I call the animals as a punching bag. Because that's who you want to attack. It doesn't matter if they die, because they can heal up pretty dang easily. They should have added another character to the game. Maybe a support character, or someone from the timeline that they were in. Maybe just as support characters. That would have been nice. But the parties are shrinking. Whatever happened to the days when a group of people went out to save the world? Like in Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, and 10 had groups of people trying to save the world. It opened the story up more. Because you got to learn about these different people, how they are connected to each other, how they become more connected throughout the game. With this, it was just 2 people. And there was no either even love interest in the game because Snow and Sarah are still together. Noel's basically the only character that is essential in this game. Sarah is just basically used as a purpose, or as Noel's purpose, to get her to lightning. But, besides all that, besides everything, I'm gonna give this game a 7 out of 10. I believe it to be a great game. Even though its problems are in there, it still turned out to be better than its previous counterpart, which I did give a 6, and I thought it was a decent game. I thought it was a little bit above average. This game tops it with a 7. It's a great game. It is deserved to be played. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys on the next No! You were not supposed to like the game. You hate the Final Fantasy 13 franchise. Well, I do like Final Fantasy 13 too. So you have nothing. You left me with no choice. Now, you have forced me to bring in the big guns. So, here it is. What is it? You'll find out. Oh no. Not again.